All decide something in your mind, then try to achieve it until your last breath, even if it means facing the toughest situations or dealing with people who create difficulties. This is the lesson from today's movie, which is based on a real-life story. So without any introduction, let's watch it. At the beginning of the story, they show a young boy who is happily playing and coming home after school. This, friends, is the name of our story. The next day, on the way, he jumps into the lake and starts swimming. There are broken cars and such lying below. This story actually takes place between the 1940s and 1950s. Cal's father is a very hard-working farmer. He has to work very hard. He does. Cal wants to help him. So he says, "Son, I am working so hard so that you never have to do this work. You just focus on your studies." It was a time when racism was at its peak and black Americans were kept as slaves by the whites. The land on which Cal's father is working so hard does not belong to them. They will cultivate crops here, and only then will they get 2 meals a day. A large portion of the crop will have to be given to the landowner. Cal says, "I will definitely study, Dad, and you will see. I will fulfill your dream. But I can do small jobs, can't I, for you?" He helps his father a lot in plowing the fields. In this way, a few years pass by while working. Father has aged a bit, and his health remains poor. Therefore, Cal had to leave his studies after a certain grade and had to take up farming. Then his mother calls out to him, "Get ready, son, we have to go." And then Cal leaves the plow and comes inside the house. Actually, Cal has been selected for the Navy, friends, and today he has to leave this small village for training. There are very few facilities in this village. There isn't even a hospital for emergencies. Cal is going out of such a village for the first time. His father is certainly saddened by the fact that after so many years, his son is leaving them. But he was firm in his resolve and says, "Son, wherever you are going, no matter what happens there, no matter how difficult it is, or whatever obstacles come your way, do not return out of fear under any circumstances. These white people consider us inferior. They keep us as their slaves. But you must never become a slave. If anyone tries to belittle you, then question them, confront them, fight for your rights and dignity alone, work diligently, and reach that stage in life where these white people, who consider themselves superior, bow their heads and salute you. It may take you 5 years, 10 years, or even 20 years to reach that stage. Stand firm, do not return defeated, son." While saying all this, they feel very sad, but they also have faith that their son will hold his head high. And as a keepsake, they give their son an old radio that is broken, but they have repaired it to give it to him tomorrow. Then the time comes to say goodbye, and tomorrow he boards the bus. His parents, with heavy hearts, bid farewell to their son. Cal also joins the one, but there, black Americans are never allowed to reach high positions. Mostly, they are given cooking, cleaning, and similar kinds of jobs. When Cal tells his companions about the goals his father sent him here with, they laugh and say that these people will let us advance. Only then, and only then, will you be able to achieve any goals. We also came here with similar goals, but in the end, these white people will keep us for these low-level jobs, just watch. But then he resolves in his mind that he will never do these jobs for life like them. We are not inferior to the whites in any way, and I will achieve equal status. After work, the white people jump into the water and start swimming. Cal also feels like swimming, but he is told that we cannot swim with them. We can go only after they are done. That's the rule here. "Oh, that's how it is. I will see who stops me," he says. The next day, he jumps into the water among the whites. All the officers are startled, wondering how he got the courage, and as Cal starts swimming, one of the whites chases him. Now, friends cheer for Cal, Deita, Wabita Salikis, and they become convinced that they underestimated him, bitch, he's something else entirely. The commander is astonished by his swimming speed. Now, because he broke the rule, he is put in a cell. And then the commander comes and says that your courage has impressed me a lot, and you swim very well. I am transferring you to the swimming dress team. By the way, friends, the commander is strict, but he respects talent. Now Cal writes a letter to his parents saying that I have been removed from the kitchen team. I have been shifted to the swimming team. He also saves some money for home. Friends, the next day a helicopter crashes into the water, and when a diver goes in to rescue its pilots, Cal sees him for the first time. At first glance, he finds it quite amazing, and decides that one day he will become a driver like that. The driver had rescued the pilot, but upon returning to the ship, it is discovered that the pilot has died. Then, to save the pilot, they send another diver inside. But his rope gets cut, and the diver falls into the water. The weight of the diver's suit is approximately 100 kilograms, so the diver cannot swim and would drown. However, their master, Chief Petty Officer, named William Sunday, free dives to save the diver, and, with great difficulty, manages to rescue him. Due to being submerged in the water for a long time, William's lungs are severely affected. And the doctors say that from now on, you will never swim or dive again. If you do, you will die. Hearing this, William becomes furious and starts breaking things, because, for him, this is not just a job, but his passion. Then the commander calls a meeting and tells him that for at least the next, 3 months, you will not be diving. After that, we will decide what to do next based on your health. Now poor William is unable to say anything in front of them. Then he goes to meet the commander the next day and says that you mentioned including me in the diving team. When do I need to join? The commander says, son, I talked about taking you into the swimming team. Diving is not something you can handle. Arab Carl says, please, trust me. I will prove to be an excellent diver. Now, seeing his strong determination, the commander agrees and sends Cal for training in the diving division. Now Cal shows the letter given by the commander to the guard there, and because this diver's job is a somewhat high position, the guard cannot believe why a black American has been sent for this training. Out of suspicion, he even calls the commander to confirm once, and when he is convinced, he lets Cal in. Done. Meanwhile, William arrives there. Who is the coach of this training school? Friends also ask, why have you come here? And when Cal says that the commander has sent him for training, he replies that he has no problem with it, but warns that there will be no respect here. Oh, the people here will treat you like the dust under their feet, and will torture you a lot. So it would be better for you to either go back, or manage the kitchen here, because blacks are only allowed to do cooking and cleaning here. Saying this, William leaves, but the next day when William returns, Cal is standing in the same spot. William says, didn't I tell you to leave yesterday? But Cal says, where will I go, sir? I promised my father that I would join the Navy and reach a good position. No matter what, I will not go back to the village until you let me in. I will stand right here, sir. From his words, William clearly understands that once he decides on something, he sees it through. In the face of his determination, William's resolve weakens, and he finally allows him inside. Inside, everyone starts staring at Cal, as if something unusual has arrived here, meaning they wonder how this black man got here. The other divers look at him with strange eyes, and one diver even spits in front of him, starting to insult him. But yes, there is one diver who talks to Cal very normally. His name is, and he has no faith in the race at all. He tells a lot about the people here, and says that the commander's name here is Mr. Ott, who doesn't like black Americans at all. He is very friendly, and because of this, Cal also likes him. When Cal comes into the camp with his bag, everyone starts mocking him and treats him insultingly. That's when William arrives and says, this is our new recruit. Everyone welcome him together, and they say, sir, if you keep him here, none of us will stay. Whether it's raining or sunny, I'll stay outside. Saying this, one man takes his bag and goes outside, and others follow him one by one. No one wants to stay with Cal just because he is black American, and they consider him inferior because of it. But friends, Snowhill doesn't leave. Cal asks, you didn't go outside? Snowhill says, hey man, I already talked to you before, right? From that, you must have understood my thoughts. These issues of race, black or white, don't matter to me. Everyone is human, and I want to be friends with everyone. Snowhill talks to Cal openly. After this, Carl and Snowhill become good friends. On the first day of training, a batch is dressed in a diver suit and taken into the water. They have to enter the water wearing a suit that weighs 100 kilograms. Imagine how difficult that would be. Now when Snowhill speaks up, William mocks him and says, let's see how long you can hold your breath underwater. Saying this, he hits him in the stomach with the heaviest part of the suit and pushes him into the water. Friends, the poor guy can't last even 2 minutes, so he is disqualified and put on the waiting list. Now, the situation is that anyone who fails today's training will not be given further training. Cal, on the other hand, performs the dive very well and proceeds to continue with the training. A few months pass, and there is also a written exam, but every time he struggles with this written exam. Because the poor guy had only studied up to the 7th grade, he couldn't quite grasp the difficult English, words, grammar, etc. Now the situation is that after a few days, there will be a final exam, and if he fails that too, he will be expelled from the Navy. Now whenever Cal gets time between his training, he goes to the library to read books, and tries to improve his English so that he can pass the exam. There he meets a medical student, who works part-time. There, he doesn't feel shy at all and asks, will you teach me English? At first she refuses, but when Cal explains his dilemma to her, she agrees and dedicates herself to teaching him day and night. Meanwhile, they develop a good friendship and start liking each other. Cal passes the final exam with good marks. Friends, in the next phase of training, Na has to do welding work on an old ship stuck in, the depths of the sea. Two divers are inside doing welding work when suddenly the ship starts to overturn. At that moment, one diver's oxygen gets stuck in one place. And meanwhile, the ship is also overturning. When William finds out, he decides to go himself to save that diver. But Cal says, "Sir, the doctor has advised you not to go into the water. I will save that diver, sir." And with no other option, William sends Cal inside. For the first time, Cal goes to such a depth, and that too, wearing a diver's suit. Now because the diver's oxygen hose is stuck, he needs a spare hose so that he can breathe. Now, one thing we must keep in mind, friends, is that at such depths, the water pressure is very high, and it's very cold. In such a situation, Cal has to cut the stuck hose and connect a new hose to save the diver. It could take at least 5 minutes, but in the meantime, the diver could die without oxygen. Keeping this in mind, Cal acts very wisely and cuts the hose, immediately connecting his own oxygen to the diver's hose so that he can breathe. Now the partner of this diver, instead of saving his companion, escapes and comes out himself. Now, before the ship completely capsizes, Cal restores the diver's hose and saves him, while the one who left the diver and escaped himself. Yes, this is the same person who had spat in front of Cal some time ago and insulted him. His name is Michael, but the next day, the award that Cal should have received for saving the tower is given to Michael, who had escaped, leaving his fellow diver behind. In reality, the commander of this camp, Pappy, does not want any black American to receive any award, and according to his orders, it was given to William. This award ends up being given to Michael. Even though it was Cal who saved that diver, Cal should have received it. Meanwhile, the diver whom Cal saved knows the truth and is amazed by Cal's patience and endurance. To save his own life, he even thanks Cal from afar. Now Michael also feels guilty that the award, which he doesn't deserve at all, was given to him. A few months later, one day Cal's mother calls him, and Cal starts crying. You know, friends, his father had passed away, and for the past few months, his health had been very poor. But if Cal had known, he would have left everything and come. Thinking this, Cal's father had told his mother not to tell Cal anything. Hearing this, Cal's face breaks down, because seeing Cal in a good position was his father's dream, and for that, he endured countless hardships, and imagine, in their final moments, Cal couldn't even be with them. Thinking about all this, Cal starts crying uncontrollably. He feels very lonely, and calls Juan to meet him. Then a car arrives there, and a woman gets out. She has tears in her eyes and looks very sad. Seeing Cal crying, she asks, "Oh, are you crying too? Are you the black American who joined this camp? My husband told me, look, you seem like a good man. Don't stay here. People will kill you. Everyone is bad." Truly, racist they are. Friends, this is William's wife. Crying, she says, "Today is our day. A good husband would spend the day with his wife, but my husband is hosting a party for his boss. That's why I'm here. By the way, you didn't go to the party, did you? If you weren't invited, I'll take you inside. Let's see who stops us." Saying this, she forcefully takes Carl inside. Seeing Carl, everyone gets angry. William says, "You can't come here." Carl says, "I know, sir. Why you weren't bringing me into the camp? You're afraid that as a black American, I will defeat people like you, the whites, and type better than them. That's why you want to come and drive me away from here." Hearing this, William's ego gets hurt, and he says, "Oh, so you think you're better than me? We'll see about that right now. But if you lose this competition, you'll leave this job the very next second, right?" "I agree, sir. But if I win, you will accept this challenge," Carl says. Now, both of them are made to wear heavy diving helmets and are submerged in water. Whoever can hold their breath longer will win. Carl has been accustomed to this since childhood and is used to staying underwater for a long time without oxygen. William is no less experienced. With many years of practice, both are competitors against each other. Friends, everyone supports William, except for Joe, who supports Carl. Just 4 minutes pass, and then blood starts coming out of William's nose, and they immediately remove his helmet, because he was about to faint. In this way, Carl wins the competition. Meanwhile, William's wife had already left. She was very upset and had drunk a lot of alcohol. In her intoxication, she passes out. Now, friends, through this competition, Carl had broken William's ego, and now he could understand his wife's pain. William consoles his wife and takes her home. Meanwhile, John had arrived there and was about to leave in anger after seeing Carl conduct such a competition, because Juan feels that if something had happened tomorrow, then Carl would have stopped him. Then she explains that, "Look, my father was also in the Navy and he died while on duty. You do this kind of madness. Yet he says that I was under a lot of stress. That's why I wanted to meet you. Someone with whom I can share my feelings, my pain." Then Juan tells him that I have got a job at a hospital in the city. I have to go immediately. And here, tomorrow, he proposes to her. But Juan responds with a no. Because Cal is a diver, which is a very risky job. Although she likes Cal for now, she declines and leaves in a taxi. Cal also runs after the taxi, and in that moment, Juan changes her decision, stops the taxi, and confesses her love to Cal. Friends, next, the commander calls William and says that tomorrow is the final test for the divers, and those who pass will join the Navy as divers, while the others will be out. But I want you to make this black American Cal fail. If he passes, more black Americans like him will show up and dirty this place. In this way, he is expressing the filth of his heart through words. Friends, this doesn't sit well with William, because judging a person's ability based on their color seems wrong to him. Cal had already proven that he was even better than William, rejecting such a man without any reason just because he is black. William absolutely does not accept this. According to his ability, he should get the same opportunities that a white person gets. This is what William believes. Friends, but he also cannot refuse to listen to the commander. If he refuses, the villain will surely create a threat to Cal's life in some wrong way. That night, William meets Cal and tells him not to come for the final test tomorrow, to leave the camp, go anywhere, and live a peaceful life. These people will never let you join the Navy. If you come for the test tomorrow and even get selected, these people will not let you live. I'm telling you in advance. Then William argues as if that is not their problem. Sir, why do? I feel that you don't want it. A black American reaching a good level in the Navy makes William angry because it's not true. He genuinely wants Cal to move forward. But he also doesn't want Cal to risk his life in the pursuit of moving forward. And in this anger, friends, he picks up Cal's radio and throws it. It was the last memento from his father that he had given to Cal. Seeing it break, Cal becomes very angry and he breaks down. Poor William completely reassures him again to come for the final test tomorrow. The next day, everyone is wearing their test suits and such, but Cal is not there. So William also assumes that maybe Cal has gone somewhere. But right on time, Cal arrives there. Friends, William gets angry again, because he had warned Cal out of concern for his life, not to come here. But despite that, Cal came for the test. Tell me, now he will surely make some plan to risk his life. Anyway, instructions for the test are given. These are sets of 3 heavy pipes that are placed underwater, at a depth of about 100 feet. And he needs to find those pipes with the help of a tool. Then some tools will be needed to connect those pipes, which will be sent underwater. Within a limited time, the entire set must be assembled using those tools. This is their task. So all the divers dive into the water. One by one, they locate the pipes and signal, and then a large bag with tools is sent down for them. Cal signals for a long time, but his tool bag doesn't arrive. Actually, it's because of Copy, who had refused, that Cal is not being given the tools. The villain doesn't understand what to do now. On top of that, Copy is also watching to ensure that no tools are being sent to Cal. After a long time, they finally send a bag with tools for Cal. But on Poppy's suggestion, they cut the bag from one side and throw it some distance away, instead of letting it descend towards Cal. Friends, because of this, tools, like nuts and bolts, fall in different places. Now, finding these small nuts, and then properly managing those pipes, seems like it will take several hours. These people have no conscience, but Cal does not get angry. With great patience and in a very good manner, he searches for every bolt and every tool. He had decided that the more trouble you give me, the more I will succeed by showing my capability. Even after so much time has passed, Cal, calmly and as quickly as possible, starts fitting those pipes. And the rest of the people who got all the tools together in one bag, all come out with their pipes burst. Some in 2 hours, some in 3 hours. Now finally, one driver, meaning before Cal. A driver comes out who took 4 hours. He was trembling with fear, because staying under pressure at such a depth for so long is no small matter. In such a situation, Cal has not come out yet, because he still hasn't found half of the parts. Poor guy is searching for them. If he stays in the water for a few more hours, there are chances he might die. Friends, it gets dark. In the meantime, Juan also arrives there. Commander Poppy is still standing above watching, but Cal's oxygen is still being consumed. Friends, he is shown alive underwater. It seems he is about to die. He is trembling due to the pressure and cold. William C. can no longer bear it, and he says to lift him up, but he calls from above, and says that until he fully assembles that set, no one will lift him up, even if it becomes morning or he dies. But here William does not obey his order and says to pull him up, so Copy angrily shouts on the phone that, if you pull him up, you will be fired. But William then disregards him and pulls the rope up. And then something happens that no one expected. Cal had securely fixed that pipe set and tied it to the rope, which now comes up and everyone is bewildered. because the way they had thrown the tools and small parts, they had to find and fix them one by one. So imagine how determined Cal must have been to accomplish this impossible task. They lift Cal up, and after being there for so many hours, his entire body is trembling badly. He stayed underwater for a full 9 hours and completed the task. His companions were shivering after staying inside for 6 hours. So imagine 9 hours. 9 hours. Imagine what condition Cal must have been in. Now no one can reject him, and finally he gets selected for the Navy. Cal sets out to join his duty, and then the Snow Hill training is about to begin. Cal was leaving after completing 6 months of training, but because Sohail was disqualified initially, he has now been taken back into training, and that's also because of Cal. Friends, because that day Cal challenged William, saying, "If I win, will you take him back?" He gives this good news to Cal, and Cal is very happy. Not only that, he also says that William helped you that day. William has been demoted by the commander, meaning he has been made a senior chief, a position below Master Chief. Hearing this, Cal also feels sad, thinking that because of him, William got demoted. Then Cal is about to pack his bag and leave when he finds the radio, given by his father, placed on his bag, the one that William had broken that day. Cal turns it on and it works just like before. Cal is very happy and realizes that it must have been William who must have fixed it. And friends, now, many years have passed, and Cal has become a senior officer in the US Navy. He and Juan are also married. They have a son as well. Currently, Cal is busy with a mission. The task is to find and retrieve the nuclear weapons that fell into the sea during Vote Ball 2. Cal is working on that mission. Once upon a time, the whites used to insult the blacks, leaving no stone unturned to prevent him from joining the Navy. Now those same whites respect him a lot. He is considered the best diver in the US Navy. In the present, he also retrieves a dangerous nuclear bomb from the depths of the sea. Some men are lifting him up, but then a rope breaks, and a large hook hits Cal's leg with great force, causing a very deep injury. His leg was almost split into 2 pieces. The doctors say that this leg might have to be amputated. Now, Cal will never be able to drive again. He breaks down, but Juan encourages him. He cries a lot looking at his father's photo, as he was only able to fulfill his father's wish, to some extent. On the other hand, they show William, who is annoyed with his seniors, because they do not respect his success and experience at all. Due to these problems, he often has disagreements with the senior officer, Joe, and now he is further demoted to Chief Petty Officer. Yeah. His position as a driving coach is also taken away from him, because he himself cannot drive. This makes him very depressed, and as a result, he starts drinking a lot of alcohol. His wife, who still cares for him, admits him to a de-addiction center so that he can quit drinking. She often comes to visit William there, and William is gradually getting better. He reads in the newspaper that a senior driver broke his leg while tripping a nuclear bomb. On the other hand, his commander and his assistant come to meet him. He requests them to give him 3 weeks' time, saying that, with the help of pros like them, he will make himself capable of driving again. And they say that, even if you do, how will you be able to work wearing the heavy suit of fear? Then he tells them about a pilot who lost a leg, but was able to return to piloting, and they say that even if we accept that, the Navy doesn't give roles, and they leave. Hearing this, Jan scolds Cal, saying, "I gave you to the Navy. In that Navy, you lost your leg, and now you want to go back to the same job. Why? We have a son. You have a responsibility towards him. Please forget about the Navy." But tomorrow is tomorrow. Once he sets his mind on something, he sees it through to the end. Seeing his determination, the young woman leaves in anger. Not only that, he starts working out with Prost and tries hard, but ends up falling. When the poor guy, who is helped by a nurse, he scolds her, saying, "Don't come near me or it will be very bad." And then William arrives there. Then the two of them talk while walking in the park. That day, after the final test, they share everything that happened in their lives with each other. William says, "Now even my diver's license has been taken away." Carl says, "I want to start diving again, but I don't know where to begin." So William says, "I will help you. There are some good officers in the Navy who were my friends. With their help, I will make you a driver again somehow, and I will also train you for it. Because I know you are a very stubborn person. Once you decide to do something, you make it happen, no matter what it takes." And after this, William starts training Carl. Not only that, he talks to several senior officers. He recommends Carl, saying that he can definitely dive again. Everyone knows how capable and expert a diver he is. Don't look at his broken leg, please. Don't doubt his confidence, please. Give him a chance. Carl also starts training very hard for this task, and today he has to prove in front of the higher officials that he can dive with a prosthetic leg. Carl is getting ready, and then he looks at the radio given to him by his father. On it, he sees a sentence written by his father, which gives him a lot of motivation. In the next scene, the villain and Ka go to that panel of senior officers. But the guard stops the villain saying, "You cannot go inside." Only Carl goes inside. There, the highest ranking officer is seated. Friends, and one by one they ask Carl about the basics of the Navy. They ask many questions regarding driving. Carl answers every question excellently. He also gives some sarcastic answers, which they can't help but laugh at. Not only that, but each of his answers proves to them how serious and confident he is about his goal. The chief says that currently, a new hype suit has been made for Navy divers, which weighs about 130 kilograms. Well, the old suit was 100 kilograms. If you can walk 12 steps wearing it, we are ready to offer you the diver position in the Navy again. William, standing outside, sees that a new and heavier suit is brought for Carl. It is a very advanced diving suit that cannot be worn without training, and Toto to walk wearing it. Perfect. Then, they hesitate, wondering how he will be able to walk wearing it. And that too, when Carl has one leg missing. Imagine having to lift and walk with such a heavy suit. The pain might just take Carl's life. Thinking about all these things, William angrily tells the guard that if he is not allowed inside, he will break in. And then he is let inside. Then William tells the officer that this is a new and advanced suit, and Carl hasn't received training to wear it. You are suddenly asking him to wear this suit and walk. This is wrong. It will be very difficult for Carl. But the officer says that if it's difficult, then why does he want to rejoin the Navy? If he wants to return to the Navy, he will have to walk 12 steps wearing this suit. Then Juan brings their son, and seeing them, Carl becomes very happy and gains new courage. He says, "Sir, wait, I will show you by walking in this suit." Then Carl is made to wear the suit, and two men start to lift him up to stand. The film explains in the Navy, divers are lifted to stand because the weight of the suit is so heavy. The diver cannot stand up alone. The chief insists he must stand alone or be disqualified. Carl stands up, with difficulty, though it's painful, on the prosthetic. Not only that, friends, he even starts walking on the ramp wearing a 130-kilogram suit. Whenever he starts to falter, with each step, Will motivates him, sometimes even scolds him. Hey, think about the challenges you faced in life. Compared to them, a 130-kilogram weight is nothing. It's like dust. Show everyone that you can do anything. And finally, Carl takes his 12 steps and stands in front. Everyone is stunned and ashamed, saying that they underestimated him. But walking 12 steps in such a heavy suit in this condition made them realize their mistake. You are reinstated to the position of diver in the Navy. Hearing this, everyone stands up and cheers for Carl. William's wife is also present. She is also very happy to see Carl's strong determination. William salutes Carl and then leaves with his wife. Look, if Carl didn't have self-confidence yesterday, he would never have been able to do this today. John also feels very proud seeing him. Carl is happy that he finally fulfilled the promise he made to his father. And with this, friends, the movie Man and Phone ends here. It is about a black American who in 1968 was injured while retrieving nuclear weapons in this accident and lost a leg. After that, he worked hard to clear the test and rejoined. 2 years later, he was promoted to a master diver, and even after that he did not retire, but remained a master diver for 9 more years. How did you feel after watching this movie, friends? Do let us know in the comments. If you liked the video,